My name is Dale, and I'm here to help you elevate your vibe and attract your dream life. Today's video, we're going to talk about spiritual awakenings and starting to live a life where you're living as your best self. What I started doing that helped me tune in to the frequency of being the best version of myself that wants to contribute and help other people create a new life for themselves as well was when I started to meditate. I started using meditation as a daily practice. And when I started to observe my thoughts, I was more aware of why I was living as the victim. I was chasing after validation to be made felt like I mattered. Now, being someone who grew up in a home where I was made felt like I was ruining my parents' reputation because I was mischievous, I was a troublemaking kid in school. So my parents would make me feel guilt for ruining the way that the community and the teachers would look at them. It had nothing to do with me. They were only worried about them. That was a way of their parenting that it really, I carried a lot of that dynamic into my adult life. I was always trying to work up to a level for them, to please them so that I felt safe, so that their image wasn't ruined because of my behavior. And I learned to be more aware that I was doing that in adult relationships, which it turned me into becoming a people pleaser. Someone who tunes to everyone to make sure that how they feel about me is okay. And when I tune into somebody who wasn't okay with me, my character, or my energy, I would feel lack. I would feel like I've done something wrong. And then I would try to come up with a solution. I would try to win over the approval of that particular person. So this had happened in my dating life before I met my wife. I'm currently happily married now, but I had to live through a lot of these traumas and a lot of these people-pleasing tactics. And when I was able to observe the way I was living for a long time through meditating, through becoming more aware of my thoughts and not trying to control them or control people around me, I was able to let go and surrender to that energy and start living a more neutral life where I'm okay either way now. When you learn to be okay either way, you don't need anything. And when you're living in survival like that, or you're living in trying to find safety and tuning to other people, you're projecting a neediness energy which repels people away from you, because you need something to come into your life to come and make you feel good about it, because you are unsure on your own that your life is going great. So you tune into other opportunities and people to try to come and help you. So part one is getting into meditation as a daily practice, and the best way to do it as a beginner is learning to just observe your thoughts and allow them to be there and not try to control the way you're thinking, but try to observe thoughts also that are linked to gratitude. What are you grateful for that's already currently in your life? What amount of money are you currently making? What have you paid for that you currently own that you look at as an accomplishment, and embody that feeling of gratitude. You are proud of these things that you've done. And that gratitude feeling and meditating and connecting to a greater good, it will help you connect to different images. And that's when you can start to create. You can't create from a place of feeling unsafe. You can't create from a place of feeling unworthy. When you start to tune in to the frequency and you don't allow these past moments to direct your daily life, you learn to live in safety and being good just for being you. And that's when you're going to start to envision these pictures of things that you would like to create towards coming up with the best life, the best version of yourself, the most powerful version of you that you can become. Now, number 2 is changing your energy. Now, this is a big one. Because if you're going to work or anywhere that you go in public, around other people, or even just sitting at home with your family, if you're projecting the energy that things are not okay and you're living in fear all the time, you're living in fear of being judged, or you're living in guilt like I used to, being attached to how I was the people pleaser in my household, trying to make sure that my parents were okay with my behavior so I wasn't ruining their image. But when you change your energy to someone who's already a success, someone who's attractive, someone who's a good speaker, someone who's good at whatever you want to be good at, find some subjects that you're interested in, start reading some books or watch some biographies, do some research on what you'd like to do with your life, and take the steps to become that version of yourself. Start living as that person ahead of time. And then the universe will start to give you signs in your life to work up to that level. So when you change your energy that you are good enough, if you're a single man or woman, you're good enough to attract that person and have a great relationship with them, then that person, if they resonate with the real you, will reflect that energy back at you. So number 3 is coming up with a new ideal for yourself. So when you're meditating and you learn to become safe with who you are as a person, you learn to get rid of the fear, the guilt, the pride of you needing to be the best and you needing to be better than other people. And you move into the state of consciousness that's of courage or above, like in the map of consciousness that I learned in the Letting Go book by David Hawkins. And you could start to live a life that is more, I'm good either way, or of acceptance. Acceptance is another very good state of being in. And you can learn to embody that energy that you're okay either way. You don't need that hot person from the gym to validate you. Because most people, they'll just walk by you and stonewall you as if they're better than you. But you'll get 3 or 4 people out of 20 that will tune in with you, smile, and be like, hey, I like that person's energy. So those are people that you're going to want to connect with more than trying to win over the approval of people who stonewall you because they think they are better than you. And they're going through victim-like situations, so they're just projecting that energy to you that they need to treat you that way in order for them to feel safe. They don't want to tune into you or give you any type of validation because there's something about themselves that they are not comfortable with. So when they run into people with a comfortable energy, they're very avoidant in wanting to allow that type of person to be around him and to feel comfortable around that type of person. So fourth step is being aware of your triggers. And when you start living this life where you've gone through a spiritual awakening, you start to live a life that's more in awareness. My dog is snoring on the couch here. You start to be more aware of your triggers. Now, for me, when I first started changing my energy, it took a lot of work because I had, like I told you at the beginning of this video, I had the people pleaser. I always, for some reason, in a lot of my relationships in high school and just coming out of school before I met my wife too, is I was always unworthy. I was always the one that had done something wrong to ruin the relationship. People pleaser, neediness. They were all tendencies that I was attached to because I was reliving the old life over and over and over before I did some meditations and inner work to fix the way that I think, feel, and act. And now I'm the most confident version of myself because I've taken my power back and I've put it back within my own body. Now I only share this energy with the people that I know I resonate with. Because why would you want to give your energy away to somebody who doesn't like you and you can sense doesn't like you? And it's okay because you learn to live with the courage of it's okay to be disliked. You don't need everyone to like you. When you start to live this way, you take more pleasure in laughing at the people that don't like you. I know it's a funny way to look at it, but that's how I've been able to use this as an approach, especially a lot lately at my local gym that I go to. But learning to observe and not identify. So let's say I use the gym a lot in these videos as an example, going to the gym or going to the grocery store, and a very attractive woman walks by and she gives you some disapproving look on her face, almost like a disregard towards your character. And she just doesn't resonate with who you are or your energy. You learn to be like, okay, that didn't happen to me, it happened for me. You don't want people who don't resonate with you to give you energy anyway. You'd rather them be deflected away from you. The universe is doing you a favor. But you learn to observe that as that used to make me feel shitty. That used to make me feel like I'm an unattractive person because this attractive woman just walked by me and stonewalled me and didn't give me any validation or approval. You learn to just observe that thought and know that you are not that thought. You don't identify with it. Because when all these thoughts, triggers, and feelings are identified with, they become negative stored emotions within the subconscious mind, and it keeps us living in fear. So living in fear and living in lack, it's all part of being attached to outcome, which is keeping us in a lower vibrational energy, which my channel here is all about bringing you back up and elevating your vibe. And what I mean by elevating your vibe is elevating your inner vibrational energy to that is higher than pride or courage, and where you can start to live a more comfortable life of flow, of creative energy, creative for music, creative for being a YouTuber, creative for being a personal trainer, making videos, being a filmmaker. Shout out to Tar City Productions. But Those are all just examples of lives that you can create for yourself. And that would be part of coming up with a new ideal. But learning to observe those negative emotions and thoughts and not identifying with them is the best way to live, because you can live a life that is free of judgment and worry, and not letting yourself be consumed by them ever again. And the last one is for this to come true, which is coming up with a new ideal for yourself. You need to trust the universe. And when you trust the universe and you don't need something to happen for or happen by a particular time, is when you're on a quest to succeed in doing something, you're going to need to try doing that thing maybe 500 to 1,000 different times. Like Colonel Sanders, who created the KFC recipe, he didn't just go knock on 20 doors and say, "Hey, can you buy my chicken recipe and let me be part of your business and give me tons of money for my recipe, you know? I'm worthy." It didn't just work like that. He had to knock on 1,003 different doors, different businesses. It probably took him several years before he was accepted. And someone took a chance on him and became a multi-millionaire corporation. That's just an example. You have to keep trying. If you're doing Instagram or you're doing YouTube, you just have to keep making videos. Keep trying. Who cares if you made one video that has 0 views or 1 view? You're not getting much engagement. That will grow over time. You have to just stop being attached to the outcome when it comes to that stuff. And just be free. Just be yourself. People value someone who's being authentic. Don't try to be someone you're not. Tune into the real version of yourself and just trust the universe. Allow it to send you energy when you're doing those morning meditations and coming up with a new ideal for yourself. Allow the universe to send you energy, an electromagnetic field that lives within you and all around you, and it powers your day-to-day movements throughout a day. And everything that you do throughout your day and your week, leading up to you achieving some of your goals, everything's a plus. You're not just going to become a success overnight. You have to work at this stuff. Now, when you're living in a state of gratitude through your meditations, and you learn to embody that attitude, that gratitude throughout your whole day, you're sending the universe a message that you are willing and allowed to let the universe's energy flow to you and all around you. And gratitude puts you into a state of receivership. And when you're in a state of receivership, that's when you can start to ask, "Hey, higher self, how about giving me a sign in my life today that we are connected and I'm on the right path?" And then before you know it, a sign's going to pop up in your life. Something that you don't ask it to show you a couple eagles or anything that you want. Ask it to be like, "Hey, let me meet a new friend. If I'm connected with you and I'm on the right path, show me this sign." And you can even ask for the specific sign too. I did that with the eagles. I was like, "Show me some eagles if we're connected." And I was driving towards St. Peter's and Port Hawkesbury here in Cape Breton. And I arrived to a community called Chapel Island. And all of a sudden, I started seeing eagles everywhere. On the sign for Chapel Island, there was an eagle painted. And then not even 2 minutes after that, there was 5 or 6 different eagles just flying in the sky. And they were coming down and storming towards my truck. They didn't hit my truck, but it was just... I really started to believe in the universal intelligence after that day. And then I kept meditating and I kept, you know what I mean, asking it to show me signs in my life. And every day there's a little sign that's helping me become 1% better. And just becoming 1% better every day is a win in my books. I don't need to be a millionaire overnight. I don't need to have 500,000 subscribers on this page for one of my videos going viral. I'm just going to keep working at it and plugging at it a little at a time. I'm going to continue to get better at my craft. The more that I make videos, the better my energy is going to get, the more comfortable I become. And I hope that you subscribe to this channel and watch the journey, because it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a great one. And I thank you for giving me your time today. And feel free to like this video if you liked it. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Peace and love, my friend.